What's up, gang? I'm Coach Christine. Super excited to be here with you for our very first workout of Empower. Now, this is a level 1 workout. You're not going to need any equipment today, and all you need is your body, a mat if you have one, a towel, or none of those things. Those work perfectly well. And we're going to get started with some warm-ups. So this is going to be a 20-minute workout that you can do anywhere, anytime. So let's start to move that body. We're going to just start with some gate openers. So if you have trouble finding a balance point, you can always hold on to something here. So maybe you have a chair, or you can take it. If you have a wall available, you can face that wall to give you a little extra support for those gate openers. We're just waking up the hips. Now we're going to reverse those gate openers. We're going to close the gate, bringing the leg forward. Same thing here. You can always face your anchor or your chair or whatever you have that is stable if you need that little extra balance help. Excellent job. Now we're going to warm up our torso. You can take those arms up into cactus arms, or you can be all the way out in sprinkler arms if you have the space, or you can bring them to your hips, whatever feels good for you here. We want to remember that we're keeping our knees tracking forward. So this rotation is not coming from our knees, it's coming from the center of the body. And if you want a bit more, like I said, you can always take those arms out and take that space. See the soft bend in my knees? I have core engagement happening here, and I am very aware of what's going on in all parts of my body. Excellent job. Now, if we have something to hold on to, we're going to grab onto the anchor, whether it's a wall or a chair. We're going to do 10 forward leg swings on each side, waking up the hip, glutes, the quadricep. Once you've done about 10 on that side, you're going to turn. I like to use an anchor for this, or a balance point, so I don't have to think so much about what's going on with my balance, and I can really wake up that leg, getting through that full range of motion. So you've done about 10 in that direction. Now we're going to face our anchor, and we're going to move through our abduction and adduction. So inner and outer thigh, same thing, about 10 on each side. Keep breathing. Once you've done 10, switch to the other side. Keep breathing. Excellent job. You can do some other range of motion stretches if you want. We can wake up those wrists with some circles in and out. You can do some arm circles. So arms out to the front, start small. We're going to build them up. About 10 in this range of motion. And I'm dropping down into a little squat here. That's optional. And then reverse direction. About 10 once you get them nice and big. Heading into those shoulders. Excellent job. Maybe some crossovers. Palms are facing down, palms facing up. If you have the space, maybe getting a little bit more behind the body, alternating which hand is on top. Now, you don't want to go into any range of motion that doesn't feel good to you. Good. All right. So we've done our legs, we've done our arms, we've done the center of our body. We warmed up our wrists a little bit. This is your time now to do any other preparatory movements that you need to do. Maybe you have a favorite stretch. So you'll notice that we don't do static stretching in the beginning of the workout. We do range of motion stretching. Maybe you need to do some high knees. Maybe you need to do some butt kickers. Maybe you want to get those ankles going. That's a nice one too. Just waking up all the parts of the body. Doesn't need to take very long. And now we're going to start getting into our actual workout. So for today, we have 4 exercises that are going to work our upper body and lower body. And then we're going to move on to some core work. We're going to do these for sets and reps today. You can always also work for time. This is the beauty of this when we work for time, or you work for sets and reps, you can follow along. or you work at your own level, okay? So if you want to work for time, totally up for you, all right? So today we've got squat, elevated bent knee pike push-up, which is going to work our upper body. Squat's going to work our lower body. Good morning, which is a lower body exercise. And then good old-fashioned push-up, which is an upper body exercise. Like I said, this is a level 1 workout, so we're going to work with modifications today. And I'm also going to give you lots of options as we go through to make this easier if you need that for yourself, or harder. That'll be an option as well as we move along. So let's talk about our squat form. So for our squat, we want to make sure that we're going to have our feet at hips distance to start. So toes are pointing forward, weight is driving down through our heels and our big toe. And we're going to think about pulling our belly button into our spine, engaging our glutes, which is our butt. Our glutes are our primary mover in squat, and then our quadriceps are our secondary mover. So really getting into what I like to think about sitting into our air chair. Now, if you have an actual chair available, it's a great prop for this particular exercise, or a stability ball. You can go behind your back and up against a wall for a little bit of extra support. I'm going to grab my chair so I can demo with that in the first round. So with our chair, we're going to set it up just like so, so that it's available. You can use a couch, you can use an ottoman, you can use whatever you have that's sturdy for your assistance here. So we're going to set ourselves up with our feet hips distance, weight in the heels and big toe. As I come down to my chair, I'm going to bend those knees. Now what I love about this is I can really tune in to see, oh, my knees are over my ankles, beautiful, 90-degree angle, core is engaged, nice flat back, head in line with the spine. I like to bring my arms up. You can also use the prop in the front here. Maybe you need another chair for a little extra push up, squeeze the glutes, okay? So that's what our squat's going to look like on the first round. We'll progress it as we move along. We're going to do 2 to 3 sets of these today, so you get lots of practice with that squat. When you're doing it off the chair, everything's going to be very similar. We're just not going to have our little prop in behind us. We can also use the prop in front of us. I'll show you some different ways to do that. Exercise number 2, we're going to do that pike push-up. So to make this an easier exercise in the beginning, we're going to use our prop again, which is our chair. So our elevated pike push-up is going to find us more in sort of a tabletop position, but my hands are on my chair. Notice my hands are in front of my elbows right now. So this is the key for pike. We want to get into our shoulders when we do this exercise. So my head and my upper body are going to come down towards the chair. I can bend my knees if I need a little extra help or support, or it's a little intense on my low back, and push the floor away. So this is our elevated pike push-up, and I'll show you how we're going to take this onto the floor eventually. But this is our first round where we're at, okay? Our next one is good morning. We're not going to use any props for this either. We've got that same hip distance stance in our feet, which is great because our hips never move. They're always in the same place, your hip bones. We're going to take our hands at our head, keeping those elbows alive, awake, and lifted. And I'm in a nice straight line with my upper body. I'm going to hinge as far as I can go. Knees stay consistent, back is flat, and coming back up, pressing down through the heel and big toe. Okay, hamstrings are our primary mover there. And then for our last exercise, push-up, we're going to use our chair again. We're now going to change the position of our body a little bit. Feet are going to come out, okay? So I'm going to have my shoulders over my hands. You can see the difference here. And you might just take a little mini scapular push-up in the beginning, and that's okay. I want you to notice that the wider your feet are, the easier it's going to be. So if you need further modification, widen those feet out, okay? And I'm going to give you some different options as we move through the circuits. Let's get started. We're going to just do 10 reps of each of these on this first round, and then we will move on to our second round and we'll progress the exercise a little bit for options. Okay, so we're going to start with that squat in our chair. Extra little modification to get yourself set up. We're going to start seated, okay? Hips, knees, ankles in line, toes are pointing forward. I'm going to bring my arms up. So now I know where my chair is. As I start, I'm going to lift and squeeze for 1. Come back down to your chair with control. Okay, we've got 10 of these. Let's keep going. 2, squeeze those glutes down with control. 3, head and chest lifted. 4, don't forget to breathe. 5, so my rule is breathe. I don't care so much when you do it right now. 6, squeeze those glutes. Control that down. 7, lots of work happens in the down, so we're going to control it. 8, 9, 10, 11, and I went over 1 because I did that bonus one in the beginning. Did you catch that? All right, coming back to our next exercise. Now we've worked our glutes, we're going to get into that pike push-up. So using our prop, if you have it available, we're going to send those hips back, all right? Hands can be pointing outward if that feels better to you, or forward, as long as you're stable on your chair. Notice I'm at about a 90-degree angle with my body, slight bend in the knees. You can use that bend. We've got 10. We're going to send the hips down and then push away through our shoulders. 1, hands are in front. 2, 3, 4, use that breath. 5, 6, bend the knees more if you need to. 7, 8, 9, last one. Make sure your chair is in a stable position. 10, you can put it up against a wall if you need to. So that is our elevated pike push-up. Excellent job. Moving on to our good mornings. Feet are hips distance, weight in the heels and the big toe. Hands are at our head. We want to keep those elbows awake and alive. We're sending those hips back and returning to standing. Squeeze the glutes. That's 1. Don't pull on your neck. 2, if you can't resist, just 1 finger on the back of the head. 3, squeeze those butt cheeks. 4, 5, 6, check in with those shoulders. 7, if it becomes too much, you can always take the hands to the front of the body. 8, so if you find yourself collapsing, bring the hands to the front. 9, and what I mean by collapsing is your elbows are coming in because they're tired. 10, excellent job. We've got 1 more. We're moving to our push-up now. Hands are going to be on our chair. Shoulder, elbow, wrist are in line. So we're in line here, unlike our pike where our hands are in front of our shoulders. I'm going to step my feet back. Feet are wide for support. We've got 10 micro push-ups. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Check in with your line. If you can see yourself, 4, take advantage of it. 5, it's not vain. It's good to check in with your form. 6, maybe I'm drifting too far back, right? I want to get into this chest. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Excellent job. Moving now to round 2. We're going to ditch our chair for this round. And we're going to come down to the mat. We will be using modifications, but we're not using the chair, okay? So our next set is going to be squat to start. And actually, I shouldn't have come down to the mat because we'll be standing for this. But for the other ones, we will be at the mat. So let's come on up. I'm going to show you how to use your support in a squat, but I'm going to use this just because I don't want to have my bum to you. So if you need your chair in front, this is an option. Feet are hips distance, weight in the heels, okay? I'm going to use my chair so I can sit back into that squat. 1, this is an option. 2, you go as deep as you can. 3, while keeping good form. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nice work. So you can imagine how that easily comes off the chair over time. Next up, we're going to move to our pike push-up. We're going to take this into a floor version. So hands are on the floor. You can stay on the chair if it's better for you. Again, hands are in front of my body. Okay. I'm going to bend those knees. So I've got a little extra support and less distance to travel. Range of motion is up to you. You can go big or little. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. I'm doing like a micro one right now. 4, which is a perfectly good option. 5, maybe you go all the way. 6, push that ground away. Fingertips are wide. 7, send those hips back. 8, 9, and 10. Excellent job. Now we're going to move back to our good morning. So come on up. Don't ever be afraid to use that prop if you need it, or that chair for balance. Hands are at the head. Feet are hips distance. We've got 10. Here we go. 1, squeeze those glutes. 2, you know what you're in for now. Maybe you go a little deeper, but keep that back flat. 3, if you have a mirror, you can take a peek at yourself. 4, 5, to check in to make sure your back is flat. 6, drive down through the heel and the big toe. Chin off the chest. 7, keep breathing. 8, 9, and 10. Excellent job. Moving right along to our last one, which is push-up. You can either stay on your chair, or we're going to come down to the floor. To get to your modified push-up position, you're going to go to plank and then just drop the knees. That's it. Everything else stays the same, shoulder over elbow over wrist. You're either doing your micro push-up, so scapular push-up, or full, or the option is to come all the way down to the floor, take a little break, and push away for 1. We got 10. Let's keep going. Maybe you're doing your micro. Maybe you're coming down to the floor for a little rest, or anywhere in between. 3 is good. Keep those elbows tracking back. Elbows are close to the body. 4, check in with your belly button. Nice flat back. Head in line with the spine. 5, 6, 7, 8, down with control. 9, last one. 10. Excellent job. All right, round 2 done. We're going to move into round 3. This time we're going to move away from some of the modifications. We're going to progress the exercise a little bit. You stay where you feel good. Okay, last set of these. We've got 10 squats. Shoulder, yes. Hips, knees, ankles in line. Here we go. Toes are facing forward. 1, 2, keep breathing. 3, smile, it helps, I swear. 4, 5, you get to be here. That's the best part of it. 6, knees are tracking forward. Sit back in your air chair. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Excellent job. Moving to that pike. Now, if you want to progress this, you can take your bend out of your knees, or you can remove a leg from the floor. I'm going to stick with our bent knee variation since this is a level 1 today. All right, here we go. 1. More deep bend is going to be a little easier. 2.
3. You can always rest if you need to. 4. Form is what we're going for here. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Last one, you got this. Big or little, 10, it's all good.
Excellent. Now we're going to move on to our good morning. So I'm going to show you an option if you want to progress this. You can always take a weight or weights if you have them available. And remember that weights can be anything. Could be a book, could be like a actual kettle, could be anything. So I'm going to take these 2 hand weights and I'm going to hold them up as though I'm holding a bar on my shoulders. So this is an option to progress your good morning. And I like to keep them a little bit closer to my neck. And if anything at any time is not comfortable, just ditch those weights. Here we go. 1, this is just an option for you. 2, 3. You can also use 1 weight here or a bar. 4, if you have it available. 5, 6, 7, sending those hips back, head in line with the spine. 8, no rounding. Lots of work happens here. 9, as we come back. Last one. Squeeze the glutes and hamstrings. Nice work. Weights are down. We're going to move on to our last exercise, which is push-up. We're going to be modified. We're still going to get there. Feet are wide. Drop those feet. Here we go. We've got 10. Wide fingertips, shoulder over elbow over wrist. 1, 2, 3, 4. Elbows track back. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Check in with that engagement. 10. Woo! Nice job, guys. We're going to move into our core circuit. So you can finish with just those 4 exercises, or you can add on the core piece for today. We've got 3 core exercises. We're going to work through these 2 to 3 times as well. So the first one we're going to do is crunch. So we're going to come down to our mat. We want to make sure our low back is connected to our mat. So to set ourselves up for success here, we're going to come down to the mat, inhale, exhale. As you exhale, let all that just melt down to the mat so you can feel your low back connected to the mat. Hands are going to be at the head or on the chest. We're going to do a crunch. Hips, knees, ankles are in line and just supported by the floor right now. I'm going to start with my hands on my chest. We want to think about bringing our lower rib cage down to our hip bones. So contracting just this space as we crunch today. Chin off the chest. We're not going for big range of motion. We're going for engagement and body awareness. And we want to make sure our head, neck, and shoulders travel towards the ceiling, not towards our knees. Okay? Hands on the chest or at your head. Here we go. We've got 10. Exhale on that crunch. 2. Inhale on the down. 3. Keep that low back connected. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Excellent job. So that's our crunch. Sometimes folks will say, I feel it more in my neck. That will get stronger. Just keep that range of motion small and focus on the part of the body that you're trying to work that will come along, okay? Side taps are next. So we're going to be in the exact same position we just were. We can do our big inhalation. Exhale. Let everything drop down to the mat. Hips, knees, ankles in line. I'm going to bring my hands down towards the side of my body. And with this movement, I'm going to lift my head ever so slightly and reach down towards my ankles on one side. So I'm crunching this side of the body and lengthening through this side of the body. I'll come back to my center and then I will do the same on the other side. If you need to bring your head down to the mat in between, totally fine. Rest that head and neck, but keep this space between the chest and the chin, okay? All right, so I call these side taps or ankle taps, sometimes also penguins, because you kind of look like a waddling penguin when you do it. We're gonna keep it nice and slow. We're gonna do 10 on each side. Here we go. 1, 2, check in the middle. 3, I'm gonna count to 20. 4, 5, try not to go too fast. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Relax. Excellent job. So those are your side taps. We're going to move on to our third exercise, which is bridge. We're in the same position we were for those other two. Yay, right? Hips, knees, ankles in line. Hands are going to be at the side of the body. And what we're going to do to get into our bridge is push down through our heels and our big toe and lift the pelvis. Now, it doesn't have to be a big lift. So maybe yours is just here. Okay, and that's all right to start. All right, we've got 10 of these. I want you to really focus on making sure that these stay in line. So if you lift and your knees start falling out or falling in, it's a nice idea to have some sort of prop available to help you sort of tune in. This is a yoga block. And I'm gonna look at my hips and go, how wide are my hips? I want my knees to stay at hips distance. And this block can help me tune in. You could use a ball. You could use a pillow. A pillow works really good. So if you find yourself collapsing or falling in or out, use a little something to generate that body awareness through the hips and knees, okay? So my toes are tracking forward now, and I'm gonna do the same thing here. I'm gonna lift for 10. So that's 1. Keep that head tracking forward. You can peek at yourself if you have a mirror. 3, squeeze those butt cheeks. You can come all the way down to the mat. 4, or you can hover, your choice. Use that exhalation, check in with your hollow body. 5, 6, so we're creating this opposite pelvic tilt here. 7, 8, use that breath. 9, and 10. Last one, squeeze and return. Really making sure we're tuning into those hamstrings, glutes, and low back on that one. All right, so that is our core circuit. We're gonna start back at the top for 10 of each. I'm gonna take my hands to my head for this round of crunches. Here we go. 1, down with control. 2, you get to choose. If you wanna keep the hands on the chest, that's your choice. 4, if you need to rest, do it. 5, 6, keep that low back connected to the mat. Don't pull on your neck. 7, same thing as with the good morning. I can take my fingers. 8, just one finger to the head if I can't resist, or don't even touch at all. 9, keeping those elbows awake and alive. Last one. Control that down. Now we're moving on to our side taps, or our penguins. Hands to the side. Lift. Here we go. 1, 2. We're going to 20. You can also use your block here if you find yourself collapsing. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Make sure it's coming from the center of the body and not from your shoulders. They're working, but we want those obliques working. And I totally lost count. We're gonna say, we'll say 4 more. Sometimes I try to count and talk. It doesn't work out. All right, we're coming back to our bridge. Grab that block if you need it. If you want a little bit more of a challenge, you can take your hands here, but make sure they stay stacked. So I've got my middle finger
my wrist, my ankle, my elbow, and my shoulder are all there in line. Here we go. We've got 10. We're going to count backwards. 9. So when we remove points of contact, it's going to make it more challenging. 8. So that's what we're doing by raising the hands. 7. 6. Really squeeze. 5. 4. 3. 2. Squeeze those butt cheeks. Control that down. And 1. Excellent. We've got one more set of these. So we're going to go back to our crunch. Let's finish up strong here. Hands at the head or on your chest. If you want more in your crunch, you can elevate those legs as an option. I'm going to stay on the floor for this level 1 workout. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Excellent job. Moving on to our penguins or side taps. Hands are going to be at our sides, hips, knees, ankles in line. Lift the head. Here we go. 2. I'm going to count to 10 on this one. 3. You do what works in your head. 4. Keep it slow. 5. Low back connected. 6. Checking in the middle if you need to. 7. Keep breathing. 8, 9, and 10. Excellent. Last set of bridges. Challenge yourself with the hands up or keep them on the floor. Your choice. Here we go. 1, squeeze those glutes, control that down. 2, you can also use a band here. 3, which kind of works just like the block. You can put it there just to kind of build awareness. 4, how wide, if you tend to be a collapser to the outside, that's a good choice. 5, if you tend to collapse legs inward, the block might be better for you. 6, but they can work for both, honestly. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Excellent job. So we went right to time today. If you have time to cool it down, absolutely do it. And you might move faster through these workouts as you start to know them, and you'll have time for that warm up and the cool down. But if nothing else, really do that cool down. And you can always do really do the warm up piece before you get moving. Make sure you do something to prepare your body for movement. And your cool down could be anything. It could be a little walk. It could just be some gentle stretching that you enjoy, maybe while you're multitasking if you don't have a ton of time in your day. So I hope you enjoyed that. I'm Coach Christine. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time for our number 2 workout. Take care.